Hey guys, welcome back, and it is time for Guess Those Grades, which is where we take a closer look at some cards that we think are worth sending to the PSA, and we go ahead and guess the grades here before we send them in with ourselves and the viewers. So we're starting off pretty strong with a first edition fossil Moltres. I'm seeing very minimal scratching. I don't really see any actually on the holofoil. Okay, so there's some minor here, super minor. The borders look great. That's going to be a big hit. There is some sort of crease wave liquid damage here. That really sucks. That is a big hit. That's putting us down to the 7 to 8. And some nick and whiting here. Ooh, and of course the damage shows to the back. If it was not for that, would be in the, well, I guess this would keep us in the 8s to 9s, but if it was not for that, would definitely be up there. So that crease on the side is a big hit. But we're going to go ahead. We're going to keep our guesses between 6 to 7. I think that's fair. It's probably lower than that. That's a pretty heavy crease. We're moving on to a Japanese Neogenesis Meganium. Great hollow foil. Just great. Absolute mirror finish. I don't see a single scratch. That is really smooth to look at, and this is on the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, which I do see kind of a good camera difference. Oh, looks like there's like a scratch right there. Oh, I guess it was just dirt. Came right off. There's a ton of swirl all overlapping right there. A little bit off-centered. Nothing really wrong with the card. Little nick there, but it's so minor. The minor and such a low level of off-centering, we still think that could get a 10. So we're gonna go ahead and guess 10. Hold on, taking a sip of my drink real quick. Shooting these in the morning, so I just woke up. Got ourselves a Neogenesis for alligator. Super clean. Wow, just wow. Some super minor silvering. I wouldn't even really call it silvering. The bordering is great. No scratch or dents. It's like absolutely perfect hollow foil. I would love to pick up a binder just full of cards of just beyond perfect hollow foil like that. Super minor whitening. I think this is also another 10. That's going to be our guess for this guy. The reason why the whiting is showing so easily is although there's the white paper, when the edges are up, the edge is against that black background, and so it makes it really easy to see whiting. And of course we're going to finish the trio with the Neogenesis Typhlosion. And I'm generally not impressed by his hollow foil, but maybe it's always got some damage and it's never in the right lighting. And this lighting, it really shows how much red there actually is. There's just really dark variants. So I moved the studio stuff around. There's a couple overlaps of swirl there. I moved the tables around. I inserted a new table. I got rid of that terrible broken air hockey table. So minor whiting, but super minor. We're going just 10 for this one as well. So yeah, we've done some moving around. We've done some reorganizing. We now have over 100 cards plus awaiting at the PSA. We have our first 15, another pack of 20, and then literally a stack of 100 cards at the PSA. So I guess the quest for 100 did come through. However, we did not get any sort of bulk discount pricing, which is upsetting. And we've got a B-drill, and I don't think that counts as bleed because it looks like that's very intentional, his wings being a part of the hollow foil, so we can't count that as bleed. It's a very clean one. Generally, whenever I see these B-drills, there's usually something wrong with it, but this is a really nice version of it. Very clean on the back. little whiting, we're going to say 9 to 10. It's just really hard to tell how hard they're going to grade against that minor, very minor whitening. So it seems really blown up and in your face, but it's just because of how we have it in front of the camera. And so it's going to seem like that, especially when you have someone really pointing it out to you. So we have a full art Gallade. Thought this card was pretty sweet. I believe this was no, this wasn't a pull. Well, I think it was a pull as well. I think I got one as a pull, and I think I got one that was in someone's binder. So some minor whitening, super minor. The rest of the card looks great, and it's covered by hollow foil, so it's really good that it's in good condition. Super minor whitening. Centering looks perfect. We're going to say 9 to 10 for this one as well. Great cards. Decent cards worth grading. It is unfortunate for that first edition Moltres. I'm upset in the head about that with its side crease. Yeah, I know. We have a lot of shadowless Diglets. That's just, I guess, my luck as a kid, because I think all these are actually from my collection as a kid. Centering's a little off. The rest of the card's in pretty decent shape. Back's a little bit more beat up. 7? I think 7's solid for that. Remember, guys, guess the grades, because you never know when you'll win something because you guessed the grades right. Next up is a first edition Shadowless Diglett. I think this is the last of my Diglets, no promises. A little bit of smudge, but the centering is decent, it's not great. The rest of the card on the front is good. The back, some whiting here and there. I still think this is a possible 7. Might be a little high for that guess. But we are going to go ahead and wing it. Next up is a pretty nice little Rayquaza. Nice little hollow foil, some minor scratches. But nevertheless, a Rayquaza. And the Dragon Element. Some upraised corners, nothing nuts. Some whiting. We're going to guess 7. I know we generally do like an in-between guess, like 7 to 8, 6 to 8, stuff like that. But right now we're just feeling really confident with our specific solid number guesses. Following that Rayquaza is another Rayquaza EX. This one lays in really solid condition, except I don't know how this keeps happening. It happens for almost, like, I don't know why it's always here, but there's a crease line. Almost always right there. The back is a little beat up. Actually, it's a lot beat up. I don't know what this will get. It's probably not worth sending in, but we're going to do it anyways. We're going to guess between 4 to 5 for this one. It's got more damage than you can really see. Not really a good one to look at. 4 to 5. Next up is a Whale Lord. I know some of y'all are probably like, why is this guy grading such certain cards that like aren't really heavy hitters? Well, it's about the weighting game. It's actually really light for a whale, 877 pounds. Some whiting, 9 to 10. And I know some people are like, he's not even hollow, he's not even that like big of like a deal. 2019, hit me up in 20 years. Hit me up in 2020, hit me up in 2039. We'll see what happens. Oh, it's not going to be the same thing. It won't be to the same extent, but it will be the same thing. It's cyclic. Edges are a little worn up, nothing crazy. The rest of the card's in pretty solid condition, except for that right there. Don't know how hard they're going to count that. That's actually part of the card, but that isn't right there. Back's in decent shape. We'll say 6 to 7. That's really unfortunate. I just now noticed, of course, closer examination, I noticed that mid-indent. I don't even know. It's crazy that's even there. I'd like to say, 8 to 9. Whatever. Following up with another Blastoise. Blastoise EX. Looks like he's in better condition than that Mega Blastoise. Nice little border in my opinion. I really like this gold border. Oh, he looks pretty solid. Looks pretty solid. The bordering is off top to bottom. We'll still guess 9 to 10. I think 10 is possible, but that is some heavy off centering. So, followed up with a base set 2 Blastoise. And it's kind of funny, I never thought about it. But I guess it's really clean hollow foil for such an old card, especially what they used to make hollow foil out of. The I didn't even realize it, but people, oh, that is some heavy off centering top to bottom. I'm gonna put a OC to MC. But other than that, I think it's flat, maybe 9. I didn't even think about how people dislike base set 2 so much because it was a rerun of base set 1, kind of ruining base set 1. Plus, people wanted newer Pokemon, wanted to have something else to collect, but also to not take away value from their originals. Nowadays, base set 2 really doesn't take value away, but back then, in terms of trading, people use base set 2 a lot to trade for base set 1s and stuff. Centering is pretty bad, left to right, top to bottom's fine. Not the cleanest corners. Rest of the card is good. Whiting here and there. We're gonna say just flat 6. It's not even hollow or first edition. It's the waiting game, guys. It's the waiting game. All right, now something else. These are the TV show scenes. These cards were made by Topps, and I think that they are worth sending in because as our generation gets older, they're gonna want stuff from the show. I bet you didn't even realize the show was drawn that bad. Like Ash has like no chin, so it's actual cutout from the show. And it isn't in perfect condition. There is some whiting. It's super minor. The rest of the card's in really, really great shape. Looks like there's a super minor bend at the corner. I'm thinking this can still get a PSA 8. I think these are probably going up in value now, and I think we're going to see them continue to go up in value. One, there's just not that many of them because people didn't collect them back in the day. And two, people are going to really want something specifically from the show. So we have another one of those. I'm not going to bother pulling them out. There's no hollow foil that this is really kind of blocking. We're going to see pretty much most of the scratches and dents from here. They're just kind of hard to pull out. So there's a little beat up at that corner as well. This is episode 1, so this one probably holds a lot of value. I think they make these in hollow foil. I don't know if it's hollow foil for every last one of them, but it is a little bit more beat up. This one's probably a 6 to 7. That corner damage is fairly high. But I just have a feeling something so original will definitely be worth some money down the road. Following back up into our Blastoise shenanigans, it is nice to have a Dark Blastoise. However, he's not great up the top. He's got some nicks, and then he's kind of really badly beat down here. We're probably looking at a 1 to 2 for him, just because of how bad that bottom corner is. We're going to say 1 to 3, because I've seen ones to where, like, they're just really, really beat up. This one has a heavy hit, but he's a heavy hit just in one small spot, and it's the corner, versus, like, it's not the artwork and stuff, and it's not across the entire card. But we'll still say 1 to 3. Following up is a base set Blastoise. And he does have some scratching here and there. It is to be expected. He's a very old card. He's got pieces literally missing from his own self. He's got hits and dents everywhere. Bordering is not great. He is off center, top to bottom. Whiting on the bottom. It's probably being gracious. We'll say 3 to 4. But, you know, he is base set Blastoise. So, we're going to send him in. Next up is another Blastoise. I can't remember which set this is. I don't recognize the symbol. But he's from 2013. Off-centered left to right. Top to bottom's fine. Some dirt or dents on the corners and bordering. 6 to 7. Probably closer to 7. But yeah, that concludes this. Just trying to keep these episodes nice, quick, and short and to the point. We never know when we're going to come across something pretty insane. We've had that happen already, to where we had some of those crazy 1-of-1 cards that we're not certain exactly what will be the best process to get them graded. We're looking at doing BGS for those really interesting cards. Letting BGS know ahead of time. It's going to take some coordination. Right now, I'm just focused on getting a bulk of my cards out. It is unfortunate that first edition Moltres was not in as good a condition as the rest of it. It just had that one major dent, and it really hurt it. And I'm having a hard time getting over it. I mean, literally from immediate glance, not we know to look for, yeah, we can see it kind of right off the bat. If I hold the card just like this, less so. It's going to be a hit. And all the scratches look bad, but all those scratches are on the top loader. So there wasn't that many scratches. It was definitely less scratches, but that's a big hit. Such a shame, but we still think it's going to be worth it. We're going to send it in. Other than that, stay tuned for more episodes, and keep looking out for giveaways, and who knows? Thanks. Bye.